Welcome back to Watch This. I'm John Henson. Today's guest has garnered attention on both the big and small screen, starring in such hits as The Virgin Suicides and True Calling. Currently, A.J. Cook is tracking down serial killers in CBS's gruesomely popular drama, Criminal Minds. A.J. Cook, everybody, come on, put your hands together. Nice to see you. Thank you for being with us. Your character, JJ, very appropriately named. Was it named JJ before you got the part?
It was.
So you went in going like, I gotta get this. I'm halfway there already.
Yeah, I like to say that they didn't want to confuse the blonde with too many letters, so they just wanted to keep it real simple for me.
Your character is sort of a den mother to a lot of the other characters on the show. Is that something that she is conscious of? Is it something that she embraces, do you think?
You know, I think everything moves so quickly for JJ. She's so bombarded with all the cases. I mean, all of these files from all over the United States come to her, and it's her job to make sure she picks the right one to bring to the team. So I think she's so, you know, on edge all the time, worried that she's not making the right decision as to what case to bring to the team. I don't think she even gets it, that she's in charge of the group.
Right, too focused on what she's doing.
Yeah, she's way too focused to even think of that.
And you talk about some of these cases. This show deals with some really troubling subject matter.
Yeah.
Did you have any interest in criminology and profiling before you got the show, or is it something that you've learned in the process?
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of psychology. That's always been so interesting to me. I like to play a little game where I like to try and figure out how people are the way they are, you know? Because you meet so many different people, so many walks of life, especially out here in L.A., and I like to kind of profile them and figure out why they are the way they are. So I've always had a huge interest in profiling and psychology. So it just kind of came up that this show was about that, and I thought, what a cool opportunity. I've learned a ton doing the show. We've been able to work side by side with real profilers, and we've been able to learn a lot of cool tricks.
Wow.
We know when someone's lying.
Really?
Well, whatever.
Have you been able to use that practically in your real life?
You know, I haven't. I should probably pull out some of those tricks every once in a while.
See if you can catch me when I'm lying during the interview.
Yeah. It's like it's a pupil thing, or like if you look off a certain way, if they're... Yeah.
But thank God you got the show, because now it explains all the books about serial killers on your shelves. Otherwise, you bring a guy home on a date and he's like, is there anything I need to know?
It's like, look at me. Let me see your pupils. What were you doing tonight?
Yeah. Where were you on the night of April 22nd?
Where were you?
Now, it seems when I watch the show, JJ is almost speaking her own language. There's so much criminal lingo that she throws out, so much jargon. Do you have, like, favorite lines, like unsub and things that you've kind of collected?
Yeah, I mean, we have our own language. And JJ is actually the person that breaks it down to the everyday person. I mean, she's around the profile. She's not actually a profiler, but she's around the profilers all the time, so she speaks their language, but she's also normal enough to be able to break it down for the everyday people.
Right.
So she's the go-between. Yeah, but the unsub, people ask me that all the time. What does unsub mean? It means unidentified subject, the killer, basically.
Right.
So that's a favorite one that we say at least 50 times per episode.
Yeah.
No, but she's more of the normal person on the team. As you know, the profilers they're a little odd.
So she's more of the everyday person. Now, when you see a cop on the street, do you sort of feel a sense of a bond? You're like, hey, I'm one of you.
No, I absolutely do, and if that cop pulled me over, he couldn't care less if I played a profiler on TV. And it's like every time I see it, it's always like, hey, what's up? And they don't have a clue who I am. So I could see myself doing that, you know, if I do get pulled over for speeding or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I've got this bond with them suddenly.
Last question before we leave. You know, a lot of changes on the show. Joe Mantegna joining the cast. What has that been like for you?
That has been amazing. Joe Mantegna, we're so lucky to have him join our team. He's the salt of the earth. He's such a talented actor, and we're really privileged to have him join us. And his character, Rossi, is going to kind of stir things up with the team. He's one of the original profilers, and he decides to come back and join us. So he has this sense of one. He's not used to working in a team, whereas we're all about working in a team. So he's going to ruffle some feathers, I think, and he's a little chauvinistic. So I think he's going to kind of rub some of us the wrong way, but it's good. It makes for good TV.
Well, we'll be watching. Thank you so much for being with us.